we are going to start with our meeting. So you guys were supposed to go through uh, your assessment, your weekly assessment. I went through your submission and I checked. Most of you guys managed to go through it and make the submissions, which is great. You guys are doing well with the hard work. So we had this session last week. I see that some of you guys were not here, and then we also have new people today. So the way in which we run this session, we just go through solving a couple of questions to help you adapt on being comfortable with Python, programming in general, and maybe discuss a few questions on stats and see where we can go with that. So for today's session, we are going to be focused mainly on the weekly assessment that you guys submitted on Monday. So we are going to review that and discuss it, see if we can share some solutions now and then. So how I would like us to go about it is to have a minor presentation from few of you guys on what you did on your work. I do not mean to push you on it. I just want you guys to sort of start by discussing what you did or from your side, and then we are going to discuss it together from there. So I want you guys to go and open the notebooks that you worked on from your side, your weekly assessment notebooks, and then I'd like one of you guys, whoever is comfortable, to share their screen and present their work to us. So the reason why we do this is so that we can engage and see if we can learn together from whatever that you had on your notebook. Is there anyone who would like to go first?
Sorry, are we going to share our screen? Like, are we going to be sharing screen?
Yes, I'd like. Yeah, would you like to go first?
All right.
Yeah, just share your screen and then show us your notebook. Explain to us what you did, what you tried, and what worked and what did not work.
Okay. Do you mean? Okay. Let me just. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. So at first, like, for most questions I deal with when coding in Python, I make sure that when I want to solve any problem, I start from the basics. Probably to create a function at first. I don't go straight for a function. I might just create probably 2 or 3 lines of code and see if that runs first. Then I'll build on that. And that was what I did for most questions in this assessment. So I started with this one at first, tracking the monthly spend. So I created a list, then I combined them together, combined the list together into a dictionary. Then I placed conditional statement that if a budget is given, probably if a budget is given as a variable, then it should print out. Okay, then I made the names of the month as the keys, and then the budget as the value of the dictionary. So if the budget is given as a key in the function, as an argument in the function, then it prints out the value. If a name is given, it prints out the value. If a budget is given, it prints out the key. So that was how I went about it. I know there are better ways of doing this, of like working with this, because I think I saw Leritima work. I think she worked with classes. is something I've been trying to figure out in Python. So I'm very comfortable with functions. So I know there are better ways and quicker ways of doing this, which I really look forward to learning from others. So that was how I solved question one.
Thanks, thank you very much. That's actually great. I'd actually like us to focus on question one for now, and then we will take it from there. Yeah, actually using functions is one of the best way to sort of control your code, because you can later on just call back your function and make use of it in a new case or something like that. But then usually when you write your functions, you want to have the results that you get from your function. So usually you want to have your so your function was supposed to return monthly spend. You want to have monthly spend as your answer that comes out of the function. So either your monthly spend is going to be a dictionary or whatever. At the end of your function, you want to have the return statement where you put in your final answer, and then when you run your function, that's what you are going to get. Thank you very much, Ayomide. If you guys have any question from this code that you don't understand, you are welcome to ask questions. Otherwise, we can move to the next person who'd like to show us their question one solution. Let it more. Can we see yours? Manga? Okay, that's cool. We're waiting for you.
I didn't finish solving that first question. I just saw where I had a problem. It was getting the list into a dictionary that was my problem, and I couldn't figure it out at that time, so I didn't finish it. But then I will put up the screen for question two.
Okay, that's okay, but we would like to just see your question one code and explain to us where you think you went wrong from that code. Maybe we can be able to solve it together right now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So let me scroll up to question one. Yeah, here. So I made a list of the months of the year and the spending for the year, for each month of the year in a list. And then I initialized an empty dictionary. So it was getting the two lists into the dictionary that that's where I had the problem. I did not know how to go about it, so I just stopped there. Can you hear me?
Okay, just to give you the sort of the coding tip that you guys can sort of use not to be stuck by when you come across problems like that one. Use when you come across a problem like that one where you don't know how to sort of create a certain code that does a certain function for you, use Google. So Google it, just use English the way you want to make your code. If you want to send maybe two lists into a dictionary, Google that exactly from the Google, and then usually check for websites that are from. There's a website called. Let me just check quickly. I'll get back to you guys. Stack Overflow. So there's a website called Stack Overflow. It's very reliable. You can find ways on how to do that. And then any other website that you find useful, you can make use of it. So okay. So in your case, you wanted to do what? You wanted to create a function. Oh, you wanted to.
Yes. I wanted to create a function that accepted two lists. So for whatever list, it will just automatically add them up into a dictionary. And then for that dictionary, print out for a corresponding for every corresponding month, for every month the corresponding spending. Yes.
Okay. It's okay. Let me just. We can just continue doing the presentation, and then we are going to solve this question together at the end after we have like maybe 2 extra people show us their solutions. Thanks very much. Can we have anyone else show us their solution from question 1? Let me see. Sianda, were you able to go through the challenge, the assessment?
Yes, sir, I was able to go through the assessment, but for question 1, I struggled.
Okay, that is okay. We should solve the question together after we have at least one last person present their solution. Yeah, let me see. How are you doing, Benjamin? Benjamin, can you hear us? Benjamin?
Can you
Hi,
hear me?
Benjamin. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Were you able to go through question 1?
No, I'm so ashamed of myself. So I've not been able to go through it, but I will go through it today, I promise. Yeah.
Were you able to make a submission on the assessment
No,
in general?
I wasn't able to.
Okay, try to go through it, submit it, and we will help you work through it together, right?
Yeah, I will do that. In fact, I just got to know about this hackathon, and I'm just trying to understand the system. So I'm sorry for that. I'm not making excuses. I'm sorry.
Okay, if you have anything that is troubling you, something that you don't understand, just use Slack to communicate with one of the TAs, and they are going to help you out. Is that okay?
So I also just wanted to, let me tell you why I first connected on the wrong PC. So this morning right now, I connected to, so I checked my Google, what's it called? Google Calendar. And on the Google Calendar, that's been how I get to the meetings. So in the Google Calendar, that reminds me that this meeting is holding. This link for this meeting is not there. So I had to go to Slack on another device. And on that device, the mic is not working. You see?
Okay.
So these multiple means of communication sometimes. So if we're going to be using Slack solely, let's know it's Slack, and then I'll stick to Slack. But that's not the reason why I've not done my assignment. I think I was just lazy. So I'm sorry about that. But I'm just saying this is also something that is
Yeah,
also
you don't
concern.
have to worry about that anymore. The problem with that invitation was that I couldn't because I was using Emmanuel's account to send the invites. I couldn't sort of link it to to Google Calendar. But then anyway, any sort of invitation to a meeting, you will be receiving it from your Google Calendar with the link on it, so that it can be easy for you. It won't be given to you by Slack. Is that okay?
Okay. So yeah, thanks.
Simanga, can we hear from you? Just last person from question 1, then we continue trying to solve it together.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Simanga.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, let me see. Think my. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
For me, I did question 1 with dictionaries. I created a dictionary of the spend in a month with 12 months, and then I created a function expenditure, which is called a parameter of spending. It's called a parameter of the dictionaries, and return the dictionaries. And then the print with the method get, when you put a month, and then we're gonna give you the keyword of the month that you spend on a certain month. If you call April and then you run, it should give you 200, which is what I spent on April. If I call February, I should give you 400 that I spent on February. That's how I solved my question 1. I'm not sure if did I get it.
Okay, you have a solution that is working in general. We just have to solve it together and see if anyone can make adjustments from their side, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, thanks.
So thank you, Smang. I'm just going to share my screen now, and then we are going to work on it together. By the way, guys, if you have any question or any comment on any of your peers' work, just ask them, and then they can explain that to you. So going through the question, you guys have to take note of a few things. They wanted you to solve the question. Let's share my entire screen. So I believe that you guys can see my screen now. I'm just having trouble finding the questions. Can one of you just copy the question from their notebook and post it in the message box on Zoom? Yes. Okay, thank you very much. So they want you to write, with the COVID-19 pandemic and resulting economic lockdown likely to create lasting economic ramifications, you would like to create a function to better track your monthly spend. Now you have to create a function that takes in either 2 individual values. Number A, string value with the name of the relevant number B, a number, a numerical value for the amount spent in a month, or a list of values for both the months and spent. The function must return a dictionary where the key is the name of the month and the value is the budget for the relevant month. Please include comments. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to share my screen again. So basically what you want to do is to write a function that takes in values, either individual values or lists, and then it returns a dictionary. So the thing that you have to take note of from this question is that the results, which is the return from your function, are supposed to be a dictionary where the key is the name of the month and the value is the budget for the relevant month. So basically you wanted your function to return the dictionary. It's not this one. Actually, from my side, I thought that you guys were doing take-home challenge number 2. So you want to have a function. It's a function, maybe monthly expense. You want it to take two variables. We can call it var1, var2. So you want your function to return something. You want it to return what? A dictionary. So you want it to take var1. var1 can have months, and then var2 can have the amount, the expense in that month, and then you want it to compile that and return a dictionary. So one way that you can go about it is to first research a way in which we can create a dictionary when you have 2 values. With 2 values. That is actually an important skill that you are going to rely on next time when you have an assignment and working by yourself. You just have to adjust to you finding solutions by yourself so that you can solve whatever the problem that you have. And then the website that I was telling you guys about, the Stack Overflow, it usually have answers to most of the questions that you can have when you're using Python. Surely. Just a second. Yeah, so that's what actually I was looking for. So you know the format of your dictionary. You know the way in which your dictionary should be placed. So on the first value, you have this is your key from the dictionary, and then your first value is the I forgot the name, but then it's you use to trace the keys inside of your dictionary. So in this case, let's just explore the last idea. Okay. Let me see if you have your list 1. I'm just going to make a dummy model. So on the first month, you spend 2,000. The second month, 2,300. Then the third month, you had like maybe 4,000. Now you want to find a way to throw these two numbers into a list. That's what we have to figure out. I mean, into a dictionary. Into a dictionary. So you have your two lists. You just want to throw them into a dictionary. So firstly, you have to open a new dictionary, which is an empty dictionary, and then you write a for loop just to throw whatever you have into your new dictionary. The simplest way that I can find right now is to use a list comprehension. I would like to apologize about that. As far as I was concerned, you guys were doing you guys were supposed to do the challenge 2. So I was going to prepare for the challenge 2, and then it was going to be fun and smoothly when we work through it together. So if you go ahead and create your, actually this is the solution to the problem that you've been having, Lerit Moore. So if you go and create your two lists, the one that has the months and the one that has the amount of money you spend in each month, you can simply throw that into a dictionary using a list comprehension in this manner. So in this case, you are telling Python that it should go to list 1 and take the value I. By I, it means it simply tracks the position of the value that you want to take. So you want Python to go to list number 1 and take the value I, throw it here and go to list number 2 and take the value I. The I is the index of the value. So if it takes the value index 0, which is January, it's going to put the January here, and then it goes to list 2. It takes the value index, in which case will be 1, and then the value is 200. It's going to put 200 here. For I in range len list 2. So just a quick question. Is there anyone who can explain this line of code here, what it means? Just this part and the purpose of it. Is there anyone who would like to try?
Hello.
Yeah.
I think it's a for loop that loop through list to the length of list 2. It goes I on the first if for I at list index 0, which is 200, and then go to the next list 2, which is 2.3, and then go to 400.
That's actually true. So if you go ahead and unpack this line of code just here, let me have list 2. What you are saying is actually true. So if you run this, you can see that the length of list 2 is 3. That means it has 3 values. Now, if you use the range function to turn this 3 value into a range, you now have values from 0 to 3. So that means when you say for I in range, this length here, you are saying for I in values from 0 to 3. So this list comprehension is going to iterate. That means it's going to use a loop, which is for loop to go through this part. So it's going to say I is equal to 1. I mean, I is equal to 0, then put I here and here, then feed that into the dictionary. It goes ahead, says I is equal to 1, and do the same thing. I is equal to 3, and do the same thing. So this is one of the ways that you can just create your dictionary from 2 lists that you might have. So I just want to go back to the question that we had. I'm just using Zoom for the first time, basically. So do you guys know anyhow where I can just go back to Zoom without stopping the sharing function and be able to continue afterwards? Let me see. Okay, that's fine. So our function required us to, it was supposed to be able to get two variables, either 2 values or 2 lists, then return the dictionary. Yeah, so our solution is not yet complete. So to complete our solution, these lists have to be outside, because we want to write a function that takes any form of a list Now we want our function to take a variable 1. Variable 1 can be a list or a value, which it should be a month, or variable 1 should be a month. Then we have variable 2, which is the amount that was spent in that year. So the first thing that you want to do, you want to create your new list from the variable. So you might say list 1 is equal to list variable 1. That is in case what you entered is just a single value. Then you say list 2 is equal to list variable 2. So this part is for when you enter two variables. Let's say you enter a month here, and then you enter your amount here, which is 2,000. What you want to return is a dictionary that will have that month and that value 2,000. So since we are using list comprehensions here, you want to take these two variables, turn them into lists before you can compute this line. So this is if type var 1 is, let me just test something. I'm just going to explain what I did shortly. So we want to test if the type of variable 1 is equal to a string. That means you have one value. You want your code to do this. Else, that means your value will be what? I mean, your variable 1 will be a list, because our function either takes a list or a variable. Else, it should just do this. That means it will be having a list. And then we want to return what? Res. Res is what? Is this dictionary that we are creating here. So I'm just going to run my function. Now we are going to test our function using the list 1 and list 2. And list 2 and see if it runs. Local variable list 2 reference before assignment. Oh. Where am I referencing?
I think it's list 1 and list 2, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Thanks very much. So you want to have copy list 1 and list 2 here. In this case, it should be just a variable, because in your variable you have a list already. You don't have to convert it. So the reason why we have two functions, so we want our code to run this function if you only have a value as a string here, not a list. And then we want our code to run this function here if you have lists inserted here, because the question said that your function should take either a value or a list of values. Also, now when you give your, let me just delete this box here so that they don't disturb us. This one, yeah. So now basically this is your solution. When you give your solution two lists of the first list should be, of course, your months, and the second list should be your values, your monthly expenses. So when you give your function monthly expenses two lists, it should return a dictionary having the amount that you spent on that month as your values. And now if you use the very same function to run it using the actual values, let's say you give it January, and then you also give it the month that the amount that you spent on January. It doesn't have to be a string, since it's a digit. It should be able to enter objective is not iterable. Oh, it should be able to give you a dictionary. Let's see how can we fix this error. Integer object is not iterable. List number 2. So there are two ways in which you can create new lists. It's either you just throw them into the square brackets, or you use the internal function, which is list, which is the one that I tried to use before, but then it was giving me error since we had one digit. So now your function is complete. You give it a list of values, it returns a dictionary with those list of values. You give it one value, which is maybe the month and also the amount spent on that month. It gives you back a dictionary having that month and the value for that month. So basically that's how your solution was supposed to be. I'm just going to send you guys the notebook when we are done with this session. So is there anyone who has any question about the code that I just wrote here, so that we can discuss it and see what we can do?
I just would like to show you how I attempted the question. I thought it was wrong. I didn't understand the question, but I just love to show how I went about it.
Of course, we would love that. Okay, I'm just going to get back to this one. If anyone has a question, you can share your screen now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Oh, okay. So I created a function called track monthly spend, which takes two values. Like it takes the name list, a list within the name M, and then the value list with that is named value A, and then I have a count here, and then it's a dictionary that is gonna take the name and the values, and then I have a for loop which is gonna the first for loop which is gonna loop through the list of the name of my months, and then I have the second one inside which is gonna loop through the values, and then I then say dictionary, which is this, and then I will have the key. The key is the value of the month. It's the name of the month, and then I assign it to the value, any amount that will be entered, and then I return that dictionary. Then I have my main function. Inside the main function, I have a count, which is gonna count through the numbers. So the user is gonna end like 12 months, the name of the month in the value. So that count is for the number of times the user is gonna enter the months and values. So I have the list month, the list for months and for the amount. this is my while loop that is going to loop through 12 times. And then I prompt the user to enter the name of the month. And then I prompt the user to enter the amount for that month. And then here I append my month to this list, the list month, and I append the value to the list amount. And then I here I'm printing, then the counter is gonna continue up to 12 times, and then I'm gonna print my results. So when I run my code, it's gonna ask me to enter a month. So I'm gonna enter from January till February, because I did it for the whole year, meaning 12 months. So it's gonna be January, and then my month, it's 10, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And then it's gonna return a dictionary with the values that you've entered, like this January that you've entered, and then the amount, like the key and the value.
Okay, I do like your solution. So you went on and created on the last part. So you
Okay.
created the function that's supposed to create that dictionary, and then you
Yes.
went on and created the operation there that they use to enter the values um, into your code.
Yes, because I didn't know like how many times the user is supposed to enter the months, like how many months are supposed to be there. So I just assumed that it's for the whole year. I just made it for the whole year.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's finally that's actually good. Have you been coding before starting with the grading boost?
Yes, I'm doing IT. I'm coding, but not with Python. I'm from Java. I'm mostly doing C# here at school.
Okay, that's great. From my side and everyone else who's here, would you kindly explain to us from the if name is equal to main? Explain to us how you use that and its purpose in general. That form of code.
Oh, so for this form of code, so I always like try to think of a solution in C#, in Python, the way I would do it in C#. So how I understand it, it's like the main method in C#, you see. So everything that I do outside my main method, or the functions that I create outside my main method, I can create a function and then I can call it inside my main method, and then perform any task or functions that I need to in the main method. So this one is just for returning the value. Like if maybe I was doing a calculations, like for the next questions, maybe I have to create to calculate the BMI. I will do all of that here in this method, like outside my main method, and then I will call it inside my main method, and then with the values that I'm gonna enter in order to make use or to run the method that is outside my main method. That's how I think of this line. It's like my main method. Everything that is in my code, everything that I want to run in my code, it must be inside my main method.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. It's I see that your form of coding is a bit advanced. This is a beginner's course, which is nice. You're going to cope very well with whatever that we'll be doing in Python. Thank you for your solution. That's basically what you needed to have. Just return a list that, I mean, a dictionary that has all of that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to, who has any question from the question one before we move on? Okay, so by the way, guys, if you are really struggling to catch up with Python and you are stuck, don't be by yourself, not knowing what to do. Slack your TA and then book a meeting with them so that you can have a one-on-one session where they will be addressing your problems directly. And please, please, please make sure that you use that channel to catch up and to also understand the content that you didn't understand instead of being left behind completely such that you can't catch up. So now I'd like us to discuss that the meeting was 1 hour from the invite. I am aware of that. Next time it should be 1 hour 30 minutes. We are going to fix it. So can we just discuss quickly question number 2 and see if we can see new and interesting solutions from that as well. So I'd like you guys to, anyone who's volunteering, to just present. Okay, we lost Lerit Moore. She was eager with question number 2. So can we have anyone who's willing to present question number 2 so that we can just see it together and see what we can do from there? Oh, Lerit Moore is back. Lerit Moore, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yes. Do you mind presenting question number 2 for us?
Oh, okay. I'm coming.
Great.
Can you see my screen? Yes.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, so it says to write a function that takes in 2 strings, and for each string, return the string along with the length of the string. For example, shows there. So what I did was to create a function that takes in string 1 and string 2, any string at all, and then assign a different length. I got like a different length of the string, and then in the return statements, I used the dot format method on the return statement. So it returns the string that was entered into the function and then the length of either string. Yeah, so it's not one long function like that.
Yes, can you run the function for us to elaborate?
Okay. So let's say Can you see it?
Yes, we can see the answer, and then your screen, your function is perfect. It does exactly what it was supposed to do. So guys, if you had a problem solving this question, the thing that you must take note of is how you format a string. So actually, I'm going to give it to you a little more to explain to everyone who's here how you format a string. How do you, if you have a long string, how do you add new values in that new string?
Okay, so what I did was use this curly brackets for each position. For each position that I want the strings to be, for every place that I want the strings or yes to appear in the big string. Let's say there's a string and then there's a substring in the string. So for every substring, for every position that I want the substring to appear, I put the curly brackets. And then when I finish writing the complete string, and I go outside it and put the dot format method. And in the order in which I place the curly brackets for the positions, I put the values, the variables for it. So the string 1, that is for this string over here. That is the first length and the second length of each string. Can you hear me?
I think your sort of internet is cutting, but then is there anyone who didn't understand her that I can repeat on her behalf? Okay, I think you were clear. Thank you very much, guys. Basically, that's the solution. That's how your function was supposed to be. So we don't really have to do this one. What I'd like to see right now is there any of you who solved this question differently but got the same results? Or is there any of you who had a problem solving this problem and they don't know how to solve their problem, how to solve the problem that they have? Or the third question, is there anyone who has a problem with the solution that we had from Ritmua that we can address now? So if you have a different solution, your code gave you problems when you're solving that question, or you have a question from the solution that Ritmua gave us, it's your chance.
Okay, I can share my solution.
Okay, would love that.
So I created my function. I named it string, which takes two values, meaning like from the examples, you entered two values just in today. So my string also takes two values, and then it's gonna return X and Y, and the length of X and then the length of Y. And then this is the formatting. Leripnoa already explained how it works. And then I have my main method. I declare the word 1 and word 2 variable to ask the user to enter the first string and the second string. And then I declare result, which is gonna call my main method with my method called string, and then takes in the values word 1 and word 2 that are entered by the user, and then it's gonna print out the results. So if I enter my name, Sianda, and my surname, it's gonna say the string Sianda and Changze have 7 and 5 respectively.
Thank you very much. I like how you create sort of an app nyana of some sort where you can operate your functions sort of nicely like that. It's something that I would like to take a look at myself as a Python user, and you guys can do the same. It sort of makes it easier for people to test whatever the code that you are making if it has to return certain results. Thank you very much. Sianda, is there anyone else who has some questions or would like to share their solution? Okay, guys. We just have to do the last question, then we are going to end the meeting. Can we just check question 3? By the way, how many questions did you have on your assessment?
11.
Oh, okay. By the way, I'll be checking your assessments, and then I'm going to give you a certain mark, and then I'll give you guys the review later. And then also we are going to share the solutions with you so that you can compare what you did and the solutions, then make improvements from there. So we can move to question number 3 to check it quickly. It will be the last question that we take today. Luis, would you like to present question 3 for us?
I'm on the road. I'm using it.
Sorry. Hello?
I'm in transit. I'm in the car. I'm ready.
Okay, that is okay. So let me see. Sianda presented something. Lerutmo did. Luis has some problems. Orakbu, am I pronouncing your name correctly? It's Orakbu, right?
Yeah, it's similar. It's Oribu, but it's okay.
Origbu.
Oribu, yes, Oribu.
Oh, Oribu. Okay, thank you very much. By the way, guys, if I mispronounce your name, just let me know. We will do change that. Simang, I'm going to go with you again. Oh, Benjamin. Benjamin, let's have question. Oh, you explained yourself. Sorry about that. Simanga, let's have question 3 from you, and then we discuss it. We are done with the meeting. Is that okay?
That's fine. Hello, everyone again. I created the body mass index functions which take 2 parameters, height and weight. And then I created the variable BMI, which calculates the mass. And then I return the BMI, the results. And then you enter your height. I created the input method, and then weight. And then you calculate, assign the variable PI to the function PM index, which is called into variable, and then I printed the results. So let me try and run it. So, it's running like this.
That's great work. Let's see. Do you guys understand his code fully, or there are some parts where you'd like him to explain more? Would you kindly explain how you make use of the input function? How does it work in BASIC? sense of it.
The input it's like a space a user will it let the user to put whatever number or a variable you want to put, a value you want to put to your app or your application. It's called used by inputs method, and then float where the the value must be on float type.
Okay, thank you very much. That's quite elegant. Is there anyone who would like to ask any question or present their solution, which might be different from this one? You guys are doing great. Actually, I'm inspired by your work. The way you code, your enthusiasm to participate, that is quite good. So we should keep that up and continue learning together. So I'm actually happy with Simanga's solution from question 3. I would like someone else to I apologize for not keeping my word. I would like someone else to present question 4, and then I promise that will be the last one. We will be done with our meeting today. Next time I'll set it to 1 hour 30 minutes so that we can have time to go through more questions together. Anyone who'd like to take up question 4? Aribu, you go on.
Right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
So I had a bit of issue with question 4 because it was a loop, and then they were so particular about the number of loops you should use. So that's why I had issues with it. They said using exactly 3 for loops, create a list with 15 A's, 10 B's, and 5 C's. So I was looking for ways to make the code easier, writing the code easier, but since it was specified that we had to use 3 for loops, so I had to just look for ways of manipulating the code. So I started with a range of, I created empty list to hold values for the codes. So after that, sorry, Luis, I beg you, Luis.
Can you please turn off the music background?
Yeah, that's what I just tried doing now.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I used 3 for loops. For I in range 15, since we need 15 A's. So looping to a range of 15, which is for I in range 15, then append those values, which are the values in range 15. That is the values in range 15, append A to the list. That is 15 times append A to list A. Then do the same for list B, but this would also count for range 15. So it would append B more than 10 times, which was an issue because of they were too particular about using 3 for loops. So, but I had to deal with that. Yeah. So I just made sure the number of B's in the B's list was not more than 10, and the number of C's in the C list also was not more than 10. Then I appended all lists, all the 3 lists as a list. Then I printed it out.
Okay, no, that's great. From my side, I'm usually just happy with the code that brings out exactly what the question was asking. How you go about it, to me, doesn't really matter, even though you can make adjustments to make your shorter and things like that. But then so long as the idea is for you to be able to write a code that returns what you want at the end. So thanks a lot. Can you have anyone else presenting their solution? On this one, I expect you guys to have like different kind of solutions. that we can all learn from. Who's keen?
Okay, I can share my screen.
Yes.
For this one, I created a list called num, and then I have my 3 for loops. The first one goes up to 15. It's meaning it's gonna loop 15 times, and then I append my a to num, which is the list, this empty list. After I have a second for loop, which loops through which loops 10 times, and then I append my b to the num list. And then I have my third for loop, which will run 5 times and append c to num. And then the final results, I just print num, which is my list that has all the values, the value 15 values of A, 10 values of B, and 5 values of C.
Okay, thank you very much, Sianda. I like it that your solution in this case, the way in which it was set up is different from Oribu's solution. So I think that it's totally fine. Your solution is exactly what they wanted from you, and then you also have 3 for loops. In this case, you might, I understand why Oribu went with it in that way, because if they ask you to use 3 for loops, you might as well assume that they want them to be associated with one another in some way. So yeah, but then that is the fault of the person who was setting that question. The way you solved it is correct. You get the results as you wanted them to be, and then also it's the same with Oribu. Your solution is elegant. I'm just happy with it. So guys, the sessions will be running this way on the Saturday hackathons. Now that we are just doing the introductions to Python, and then you guys are coping very well, that is nice. As we continue, we are going to be engaging on more sort of challenging activities, and then the sessions like this will help you to understand the content that you did not do well on, and then also be allowed to ask questions. So they will be extremely useful as we continue. I advise you to encourage your team members to participate in sessions like this, as they are for them, and then they are here to help them. And then, by the way, from you guys who are here, is there anyone who's having any problems with their team when it comes to collaborations and working together on take-home challenges and things like that? Before we close the session, I just want to hear your views on your groups, on the tutorial sessions you had this week. How were they? Is there anything that was troubling you? Is there anything that they can improve to make the experience good for you? Just anything that you would like to share with us. Anyone? Oh, is there anyone who's in a group that is not assigned to any mentor? Group number 3 and 4, I think. They might not be assigned to any mentor.
My group, we just got together recently, so I think this coming week will be our first week together. So it took a while for us to know each other. So I think we're fine right now. So yeah.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that, Luis. You're from group 3. I remember I'll be having a meeting with you next week. I will take it from there. If you guys are okay.
No, this is Benjamin. Yeah.
Oh, Benjamin, sorry, my mistake. Okay, that is okay, guys. Thank you for attending the session. If you guys have any suggestion on how to make this session help you a lot in any way, what you guys would like us to discuss, don't feel free to just send me a suggestion. We can improve them in that way. Maybe you'd like us to discuss advanced questions, for instance. Just send me that. I'll see how we can incorporate that. If you have anything, you can just say now. Otherwise, we can call it a day. I'll see you guys next week, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. Have a nice weekend also.
Thank you.
Is it really?